Hey guys, it's Anna. Here to host my skills block for Module 3 in our leadership class. Um, I just started a new job Monday. It's been a busy week, and so the first day of orientation, they handed out basically their structure, which was obviously vertical. There's this very specific chain of commands that we're to follow whenever any type of issue arises that we need to involve management or the rest of the hierarchy in the organization. Um, that's really all I know about this facility so far. Again, it's just been orientation week. Um, so I can speak better to the facility that I just left. I think that they too used a vertical structure. I think a lot of nursing facilities or hospitals use a vertical structure so that there's always that specific chain of command. There's always that person you know to go to when some issue arises. Um, so other than that vertical structure, the place I just left also does allow for the use of a matrix. Specifically, the facility I just left got an endowment from Duke University to start using Lean Six Sigma to problem solve and make improvements in the hospital. So whatever issue there is in your department that you say, hey, this is what we want to fix, any department, any person that touches that issue it has to provide representation into this week-long project of team building. So, for example, we did a project trying to get patients moved upstairs faster from the time that we knew they needed to be admitted to the time that they left the department. What were some of the setbacks? So every department, every person that was involved in that process or that we thought would help us improve that process was involved, whether it was registration, the hospitalists, ER physicians, nurses, charge nurses, transporters. Um, we all got together and spent a week coming up with a solution, and they've done that for several things. So you may involve X-ray, you may involve cardio, you may involve different groups that aren't even specifically in the hospital, but might have to do with your process. Um, so other than those specific lean projects, though, we did use the vertical structure, but in some of my research and in some of my just experience period, I found that this vertical structure, you have little silos in the organization, like X-ray is their department, telemetry is their department, ER is a department, but no one, while we're all there for the same job, is to take care of a patient. It's really hard to get everybody on the same team sometimes and make everybody be part of the same team because they have their own hierarchy and chain of command within their department. So it's hard to get everybody to realize you're all on the same farm, not just a bunch of silos sometimes. Um, so whenever there's an issue that you need to address, you have to go up your chain of command, and then you know the person that you take it to has to go to the other department and it has to follow their chain of command. So it really gets lengthy sometimes when you have a problem that you're trying to get solved, unless you use this matrix concept. But again, in some of my research and in some of my experiences, this matrix concept can cause ambiguity sometimes into who you answer to, where your allegiances are supposed to lie, and who's responsible. Once you get on some of these teams, it's almost like you have too many people to answer to, so it gets ambiguous as to who to raise an issue to. Who do I go to for such and such problem? Um, let's see, what else were we supposed to discuss? Okay, so the little quiz that we took, I scored almost the same thing on every one of my answers or my scores. 26 for conceptual, 25 for interpersonal, and then 24 for admin. So all of those were kind of strong. I guess maybe I'm just a really opinionated person. But of course my highest were the conceptual and then the interpersonal. So but my weakest was in admin, but it was still a strong score. So hopefully by the end of this class, we'll know a little bit more about administration and roles in leadership and management in nursing, what's expected of us. If I were to go up the chain of command, of course, I just started a new job, so I can speak better to where I just came from. The next step up would have been something like a clinical coordinator or a nurse manager. And I think the best skills that you can have when you're in a leadership position like that are communication and collaboration. There's lots of other skills that are important, kind of just like we just discussed in our values. it doesn't mean that other skills aren't important or other values aren't important, like in the last blog. It just means that I think the most important ones are communication and collaboration. If you can collaborate with other people and use your communication skills to get things done, then other things like scheduling, staffing, I think some of those things will kind of fall into place. And as far as how would I use literature in the process, well, I guess kind of just like we use literature when we're doing our research for these blogs and for these modules. You can have an opinion and idea, but when you find someone who's done research or you do your own research to back it up with facts, it's a lot easier to communicate to people when they see things in black and white. It's a lot easier to get people on board when you can communicate with facts instead of your own ideas. So that's it, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks.